William Sharp was a Scottish writer, poet and biographer. Born in Paisley in 1855, he studied at the University of Glasgow but did not earn his degree due to leaving the university early. He began working at a law office at Glasgow and, following a trip to Australia, got a job at a London bank. Around this time, he joined the Rossetti Literary Group and in 1884 married his first cousin, Elizabeth Amelia Sharp. In 1893, he began writing under the pseudonym Fiona McLeod. He went so far as to engage his sister to write letters in McLeod's name and receive letters dedicated to her. Sharp said that he felt another self within himself, as if he were possessed by a spirit which must speak out. This new identity potentially was the result of his affair with Edith Wingate Rinder, his longtime mistress. At some point, he also joined the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, a famous organization devoted to the study of the occult whose other members included Algernon Blackwood and Arthur Machen. Sharp died in Sicily in 1905 at the age of 50 and was buried at the Castello di Maniace. The Gypsy Christ and Other Tales was published in 1895 and was one of 4 books published that year, along with another promising sounding collection, The Sin Eater and Other Tales, and all of these books, except Gypsy Christ, were published under his McLoud pseudonym. The title story is an amusing, Gothic, grim tale narrating how the descendants of a gypsy who mocked Christ tend to die horribly, even going so far as to actually ending up getting crucified, and about how one day they will bring about the Gypsy Christ, who will ironically bring forth the end of the gypsies somehow. Sometimes you may feel like Sharp is pushing the grimness of this one just a little bit too far, but it is still good. The other stories are melodramatic, sometimes tragic, but honestly none are as creative or atmospheric as the title story. We have Madge of the Pool, a Thames etching, which is a story of a melodrama concerning a girl from the banks of the Thames falling for a policeman. However, Madge's relations put an end to that for both parties involved. Then there is The Coward, an episode of the Franco-Arab War, which narrates how a Colonel Le Marchant, the commander of a fort, is blackmailed into ruining his reputation by not engaging the approaching army of Arab rebels, all for the sake of a woman. However, the promise given to him by the wily Arabs is kept in a disturbingly literal sense. Following that, we have A Venetian Idyll, which features an Italian gondolier, Luigi, and tells us how he and his betrothed Zina nearly came apart due to a forged letter by Luigi's wily colleague, Matteo. It is also the most light-hearted and optimistic of the stories in this collection. The Graven Image, being the narrative of James Trineri, is another atmospheric weird tale in the traditional haunted house style. In a certain house in Kensington called the Mulberries, our narrator visits the house of his father's old friend, John Tregarthen. During the night, he suddenly notices a waxen image of a woman's face affixed to the wall with the inscription, "Lo, I made unto myself a graven image, that unto the end of my days the eyes of the body should likewise know no peace." When he goes to sleep, he is awakened by a woman sitting by the fire, and then is witness to the reenactment of a domestic tragedy that occurred in the house many years prior. The lady in Hosea gives us John Dorian in the midst of burning a love letter, one of many he has received, in the fireplace, and then proceeds to narrate the unhappy affair between Dorian and Claire Trevor and how it culminated. Finally, Frone Bergeliot has a poor working-class girl from Norway and Italy wanting desperately to return home, with a man desperately also needing to find her before she does.